Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we return to Chess Ultimate, where my goal today is to win one game with a normal chess setup. And I figured today is my best opportunity because, as you can see, Jesse, the developer of the game, has left a little note that the Angel, Ghost, and Bomb have been disabled due to bugs. And shout out Jesse, he's solo deving this entire project. It's been one of the most fun chess variant games that I've come across and had the opportunity to play. So shout out to him. He is, as he says right there, working hard to get those issues resolved. But for me, this presents a very special opportunity. Those are probably the biggest threats to a normal chess setup. So we're going to take advantage of this tiny glitch in the matrix and actually try to win a game with a normal chess setup. Also, I will take care of all of these friend requests and respond to as many messages as I reasonably can at the end of the video. So don't worry, I'm not just ignoring it. Let's dive in. All right, we'll play an unranked game and I'll go ahead and use a brand new setup for this. I figure as a chess player, I may even come back to this at some point. So we'll have a king on e1. I will be playing as the white pieces in my head. We'll play the queen on d1. And of course we need 8 pawns as well. All right, 8 pawns on the board. We need 2 rooks. We need 2 knights. And finally, we need 2 bishops. There we go. We have the entire setup. We do have 3 points to spare, but we're going to take those 3 points and put them in the bank and try to actually win a game with just the totally normal chess setup. So let's go ahead and dive in and find a game. We found a game already. Okay, don't mind if I do. Against, wait, Jesse? Wait, no, that can't be right. This is also worth noting. This says Jesse number 9. I'm gonna go ahead and just play, I don't know, I guess D4. We also each have 10 minutes apparently, so there are timers now. It is worth noting, you can see this says Jesse, who I just talked about, but it says Jesse number 9. And a few of you guys have reached out to me to say that you have played me in Chess Ultimate when I haven't played this since the live stream. So if you look down at my name, it says I want checkmate number 001 because I'm the first person to take the username I want checkmate. So if you play against I want checkmate 002, 003, 004, you're not playing against me. I'm 001. I'm the first person to grab the I want checkmate username. All right, so what's going on with the opponent? They have a bazillion jesters, a king, and a bazillion copycats as well. Let's go ahead and start by taking this copycat with our bishop. And weirdly enough, I think we have a really good chance of winning this. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how the hunt for the actual king goes. But they do play the copycats forward. How do the copycats move again? Oh, they move 1 square in any direction. So if I capture this right away, this copycat takes back and I lose the bishop for a copycat, which I don't think is worthwhile. So I'll go ahead and retreat the bishop. It's also a little bit weird because this is, I believe, an 8x10 board, or 8x10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They ask for a take back request. Sure, I guess. So it is an 8x10 board, which means there is no long diagonal that goes from one end to the other. You can see that is not a straight diagonal through any number of squares. There are long-ish diagonals, as in the normal adjective, they are long, but they don't reach from one end to the board in the true sense. We get the 2 copycats forward again, which is very strange because they seem a little bit weak there. Let's go ahead and develop the knight. I am, before you ask, yes, I am in fact playing a London system. Okay, the copycats go out to the side. This is very curious. I feel like there's a good way for me to take advantage of this because they are really weak, but I'm going to persist with my London. We'll play pawn to e3. If they do continue to advance these copycats one at a time, we should be in a really good spot because they will have nobody to defend them and should fall one by one. Okay, they advance again, which means I can now capture this one and in turn the one across the board as well. Oh, look at the... You can wiggle his head around. I can capture this copycat, which knocks both of them off of the board. Look at that horse kick. Okay, so I suppose they're going to pick another pair of copycats to move, and they do. Let's continue to develop. I guess bishop to d3 would be a true London, but I think it's finally time we actually deviate a little bit because I don't actually see any pieces on that diagonal. I'd rather step forward, and as you can see, I'm actually targeting some copycats. None that I can actually take at the moment, but, you know, the intent is there. Hold on, I'll be right back. My washer is going insane right now. Okay, I've taken care of that little situation. That's the last time I start the washer before I start recording. The copycats do advance. They're not free though. They're not really weak either. Why don't I go ahead? Wait, can I castle in this game? I think I can. Nice, I can. Okay, I castle, and I really do like that the dev chose to leave that in the game. I think that's a good homage to the original game that this stems from, even though this game goes well beyond what, you know, chess originally entails. I think that's a nice little touch there. We get the 2 two copycats advancing, so I think the opponent has figured out that they need to advance in tandem, or at least close enough so that they're not free for me to capture. Now, the question is, how exactly do I go about creating any concrete threats? You'd imagine I'd lead the way with the pawns. I'm gonna move this bishop back, looking for, that's not how the pawn moves, looking for c4, d5, e4, and grabbing lots of center space. You know, the London system was funny as a joke at the beginning, but I genuinely think we need to lead the way with the pawns. The least valuable pieces, if I trade a pawn for a pair of copycats, I am a happy camper in that situation. Okay, they do advance the copycats again. Now, what happens if I just fork the copycats with pawn forward to d5? Or, what, no, I guess that doesn't work. I was gonna say I could capture this and they wouldn't be able to take back, but actually this copycat would be removed as well, so they actually would be able to take back. Let's play d5 and just see what happens. I mean, it looks like a fork. You'd imagine I'm winning some species of material here. Okay, oh, they advance as a pair, but I can take back, which eliminates both of them. And should this copycat take back, I take with the bishop and eliminate yet another pair. And it basically didn't cost me anything. Actually, I'm gonna take with this bishop instead. Should knock both of those copycats off of the board. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think we have a very real chance of winning this first game already. The copycats advance again. We just have to keep our head on our shoulders. Good life advice in general, and I think we'll be in a good spot here. Let's go ahead and centralize the rook. Just look down the open file. I still believe that I should be leading with the pawns. Oh, I can grab that for free with my queen. Oops, I've re-enabled the warning there. So we do capture those two copycats, and like I said, I do think I should be leading with the pawns, but I've already lost two of my central pawns. The only ones I would really lead with are maybe the e-pawn by itself. I'd like to keep this protection on top of the king, and these queenside pawns. Actually, I've just caught myself using a little bit of chess sort of rhetoric for no, or rather a chess heuristic for no reason, because the opponent doesn't have any long-range pieces. So the sort of pattern that you should never move the pawns in front of your king, because obviously your king becomes very weak, kind of just doesn't apply here at all, which is really amusing. But there are no long-range pieces. There's nobody that's going to snipe me on a diagonal or down a file, or even a knight that can jump in rather quickly. There's just nothing here. So I guess maybe I do continue leading with the pawns. That's the biggest thing for me when I play these variants. I have to be very, very careful, especially now that I'm intentionally using the chess setup. I have to be careful not to fall back on those sort of chess patterns when they're not applicable. Okay, we get these copycats advancing again, but there's still nobody defending them, so I will take back, or rather, I will take them. We are finally looking at one of those jesters slash potential kings. What are the odds that that's the real king? I'd imagine fairly low. Okay, I can take this as well. I will say, because the whole point of the jester is that it could be confused with a king, the game will not tell you if you put the real king in check. So right now you can see I have one king in check. I had this king in double check for half a second there, or actually no, not with the copycats, but you get the idea. I have two kings in check at the moment, but the game is not going to force the opponent to move them because the whole point is that I'm not supposed to know if it's the real king. Now what I can do is come in with the queen, and now I'm looking at a whole bunch of kings, and maybe the opponent will start to get a little bit nervous. Let's see which one they choose to move. Which one will suddenly, oh no, need to move out of the way. Also, is one of their copycats just passed out here? Oh, and here as well. Oh, and back there. The bodies are everywhere. I feel no remorse. We'll see what the opponent decides to make of this. Because realistically, their only choice is to start advancing these gestures, but it would be kind of funny if they move the real king right away. Okay, they advance this guy, so that cannot be the real king. Let's go ahead and play. Let's just move the queen back, right? There is really no rush for me here whatsoever. In fact, I might even go back to just pushing the pawns like I was going to before. There's genuinely no reason for me to sacrifice anything. Besides just having stronger pieces, I outnumber them 1-to-1. I'm pretty sure I have almost all of my pieces, and they obviously do not. Oh, they offer a draw. I'm going to have to cordially decline the offer. I do think I might actually get my first victory here with the regular chess setup, which is amazing. Oh, nice. We do get the forfeit, and we do win the game with a completely normal chess setup. Now, the natural thing to do here is to play another one, obviously, until I lose. Until I lose, this is a real setup that works. We are ready to go. Put me in, coach. We are in the queue. So, full disclaimer, as far as the point of the video goes, we've won a game now with the regular chess setup. I feel extremely validated, and yeah, that's not good. You can see the gold 3 frame around their avatar. You can see they have an original username. You can see that their setup is very diverse, but also kind of looks intentional. You can see the upgraded skin on the king. There are a lot of signs here. There are a lot of symptoms that we might get smoked. They know how to use the devil and have it move like a knight. Yeah, there's There's not a lot to look forward to, I don't think, on this one. We'll go ahead and play a normal opening. You can see the rook looking down. They even have the all-powerful, ever-handsome mage on f8, or I suppose f10. Okay, they advance the knight. The devil does move on its own, and you can see those grabby little hands are already reaching for our pieces. I think I have to abandon... Well, wait a minute. Well, I was going to say I guess I have to abandon the London system from the get-go, but maybe I play bishop g5 instead, right? If I had played the London, I just lose the bishop to the rook, so that was toast from the beginning. But there's this, which is kind of interesting, and I do kind of look at the king, and that's pretty much the only option I think I have is to... I don't want to say hope and straight up play hope chess, but, you know, hope basically that the opponent loses track of their king being attacked. Right, because these devils will move out of the way. You can see they just produced another one, but these devils will move out of the way. It's just how they move. And the devil will be the only one, or rather the original devil. What are these called? Minions, rather. The minions will move out of the way. That's just what they do every single move. And the devil itself will be the only one between my bishop and the king. Now, what are the odds that actually leads to a mate? I'd rather not even do the math on that. But let's go ahead and play e3. And as you can see, those minions did advance. So suddenly this diagonal is open again. Of course, they can continue to produce minions, and they would charge straight at my king, and I would tremble in my boots and be a little confused about what I'm supposed to do there. But if they don't, this is a mildly amusing sort of prospect that's sitting on the board here. Oh, put our king in check. Yeah, that's probably a good idea in general. So they do put our king in check. I'd like to block it while developing my pieces, so I suppose knight to c3 is justified. I'm a little concerned because I'm buying these minions tempo to charge further at my pieces. Can the minion actually capture my piece? I don't know. I think it can. I'm a little bit nervous about that. We'll see what the opponent decides to make of this position. Okay, they poop out another minion. I suppose I should get rid of this guy right away. We'll get rid of that devil who just is causing us all sorts of problems, and the minion does in fact capture my pawn. I'm glad that it was the pawn that got to find that out. Oh, he doesn't seem so glad back there though. Oh, and there goes the bishop. Yeah, there are things happening that are not favorable. I suppose we take back. I can't just let it charge directly at the king. That seems unwise. Right, the minion recaptures anyways, and I suppose when it advances to e2, I'll take it with the bishop, I'll castle my king out of the way, and I'll pretty much hope that that's enough to sort of keep me out of trouble for the time being. Okay, we get the berserker moving forward, and this little critter is actually quite a concern because every time it captures a piece, and as you can see, it was the one to recapture the bishop, it gains the ability to move one further square. So before it captured my bishop, it could only move one square in any direction. Now that it's captured my bishop, you can see it's expanded its range to 2 squares in any direction. And you can tell we're playing an advanced player because they placed it right next to the devil, which traditionally is something you want to get rid of quickly, or else you have to fight off all of these minions. But what happens when you get rid of that devil? The berserker takes back, and suddenly look at the range on this guy. Should he capture even one more piece, he would be able to move even 1 square further in any direction. So just nothing to look forward to there. So is there anything we can do about this? I'm honestly tempted to play for like a sacrifice of some kind. The problem is the knight is rooted by the pawn, so trying to open up this file, as fun as it looks and as good of a counterattack as it seems to produce, thank you plane flying overhead, would uproot the knight and in turn weaken our king pretty significantly. Let's do this. We'll develop the bishop. The devil does advance once more, so I really have no choice but to take back on the next turn, and then eventually I should probably castle as well. Oh, wow. Wait, what are all these lines? Holy smokes, hello? Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm a little confused what these lines are, but the devil puts us in check and the queen puts us in check. So I think, wait, can I castle out of check? That would be kind of funny. Oh, I can. I can castle out of check. I really don't have much to be laughing about. I mean, this bishop is toast at the hands of that queen, but I do think that's rather funny. I couldn't take back there, even though the queen is under attack by the pawn now, because again, that minion would have advanced and captured my king. Which just happened? Oh, the queen captured my bishop, who is now splayed out in the back. Okay, so the queen is no longer in danger. I think these minions will just walk themselves off the board. I'm pretty sure that's their like final mechanic. So I'll go ahead and take back here and target the queen. Holy smokes, what an aggressive kick. That pawn is a man of the people. Yeah, and you can see this minion despawns. It doesn't actually walk itself off the board, although that would have been rather funny. But it does sort of conclude its life at the end of the board. Okay, we are put in check by the queen, who obviously does not want to get captured by this pawn. I really think my best thing to do here is just move the king out of the way. I mean, I could block, I just lose the pawn. I don't really get anything out of that. The berserker starts to advance. Look at that range of motion. Let's target the queen with the rook. And actually, now that there's no knight here, b4 is not that silly anymore, right? b4, just pushing a pawn until we eventually open up the, whoa, queen sack. Hold on a second. I will take back the berserker. Oh, wow, what a sacrifice. The only person defending that pawn was the queen. So even though they did, quote unquote, lose the queen for the rook, they sacrificed it so the queen would move out of the way. And look at the berserker now. I mean, that's a nightmare right there. Truly a nightmare. I can't even take that knight back there. Wow, and that rhymed as well, but that doesn't help my cause. Wait, can I even move here? No, I was gonna move the queen to g5 to put the king in check, but berserker would literally just capture. I guess I would be able to take back, but then the rook takes on f1, which is even more insane. Am I getting checkmated here too? Yeah, because they're gonna take my rook, and that puts my king in complete check. I don't think I can do anything here but wait around. I mean, is there any safe place for me to move? I think it's over. I'm pretty sure I'm basically already checkmated. If I leave the queen where she is, the berserker just moves down here, which is a safe square, and from there it would definitely cover h1. If I move the queen over, then another safe square for the berserker is simply e3, and from there it also covers h1. So I'm like 99% sure I'm toast here. Maybe queen d2? Queen d2 allows the berserker to take, the knight takes back, the rook takes on f1, the knight takes back, and I'm pretty sure I'm still losing there anyways. Nope, berserker to g4, even better solution found by the opponent. There's a reason that they are where they are in terms of ranking, and they do get checkmate on our normal chess position. It was a good fight. I think just to conclude this video, we should do one more game, just one more game. We've already won, so everything from here is bonus. Let's go ahead and play one last game. I can see that somebody sent me a message, probably one of my opponents, but again, I will respond after I've concluded recording, so it doesn't sort of take up the entire video. And there we go, we have our normal setup. I was gonna say that I know that you guys to some extent enjoy watching me interact with you precisely on these videos, but 159 is quite a bit to go through, so I will sort of keep it out of the video, but if you do want to send me a message on Chess Ultimate, I will do my best to get back to you. All right, let's go ahead and queue up again. We're instantly paired. Let's see who we get. We get Snaker42. Oh boy. Here's the thing. This might be a terrible setup, and I might actually be in a really good spot here, or this might be an amazing setup and I just don't understand why it's so amazing yet. So we do see our nightmare piece from the previous game resurrected back to haunt us, but now 6 times as many of them. I don't know, I guess our best course of action here is to try to pick them off one by one before they get too close to our position. So we should really focus on developing our pieces as quickly as we can, and as long as they can't all support each other, right, as long as something like this doesn't happen where they're all back to back to back to back to back, we shouldn't be in trouble. So we'll go ahead and develop the bishop. Okay, nice. We grab this berserker over here. As you can see, if I click on them, they start by only being able to move 1 square in any direction. So if I capture this one, none of them actually reach me yet. I'm also a little concerned about what this bishop is up to. No. It's not going to be that easy. We're going to return the bishop all the way back to b2. 0 opportunities for them to make any captures, because as soon as they sort of stack those captures, you know, tactics start to appear on the board where suddenly it's like, oh, this one can move 2, but that one can only move 1, so they sacrifice it, and now this one can move 3, and all of a sudden questionable things are happening in your position. Okay, the bishop develops, kind of urging me to capture so the berserker can take back, and it would be able to move 2 squares in any direction at that point. If I ignore it, can they force me to take it in any way? I don't think they can. I'm just going to play knight c3. I'm a little concerned because this knight is realistically just pinned to the bishop. So berserker, for example, continuing to advance, exactly like that, could actually be a bit of an issue. Let's go ahead and play e3. I was going to fianchetto the bishop, but there's nobody on this diagonal anymore, and realistically it's a little bit of just a cheap trick. Okay, the berserker advances again. It can't actually move any further. Oh, it could move to a3, so we'll play, or rather b4. Thinking faster than I'm talking. So we'll move a3 to cover b4, and I think we're hanging tight here until another berserker comes in as backup. Okay, there he comes. I don't know how I feel about being able to announce the moves, because in my head they are the best moves that are being played. Let's go d4 and push that berserker further back before his buddy comes in. I mean, the buddy could come in anyways and support it for that capture, but I don't think being able to move 2 squares in any direction justifies losing an entire new berserker to a pawn. I'm going to make the argument that that is not a sound trade-off. Oh, but they're going to make the argument that it is, so we'll go ahead and take note of the fact that this berserker still can't advance. Even though it can move 2 squares in any direction, actually none of these squares are safe yet. Actually, maybe c3 is, right? They could take here with the bishop. I take back what I said. c3 is definitely safe. So we'll reinforce it with a knight, and I think suddenly we're okay again. I'm going to move the bishop to g2, castle out of the way. I'll be as far from these berserkers as I possibly can. The bishop takes back. I'm just going to take with my own bishop. I don't think it makes any sense there to take with the knight. Oh, buddy. Boop. Falls onto the grass. Oh, the berserker takes, but unfortunately they don't notice that the knight can simply recapture on c3, get that berserker out of here. Now, we're nearing the point where I'm pretty much ready to sacrifice anything in the name of, sort of picking off these last couple of berserkers. So we'll use the bishop to pin 2 of these berserkers to the king. If one moves, I capture the other. And even though it has extra movement ability, it doesn't really matter because my queen comes in and she can sort of sacrifice herself for that final berserker. Right, this one can move 2 squares in any direction, so I think that's, it's maybe not a fair trade, but trading down a little bit when there's only 1 berserker left isn't really the end of the world. The king summons his little minions to poof our queen off of the board. Let's do a little castle check, literally just because we can. There's no other real reason there to castle but to give that intimidation check. Okay, now, point of interest. If I move the rook to d4, there's the kind of funny idea that this pawn, and this is a real concept from chess as well, I guess you could argue it's like an outpost. I don't know if there's a better word for it. It typically arises in the endgame. You can see this rook that is supported by a pawn sits on d4. So the pawn supports the rook, which sits on d4, but that means that none of these pieces that move 1 square in any direction can ever reach the pawn. So it's sort of like this recursive defense. The pawn protects the rook, which protects the rank, which protects the pawn. So literally all of this board is completely off limits for the opponent, at least now that they've moved their king into that box, which is really amusing to me. The best they can do now is take this berserker and come after the rook, but at that point I'd literally just move rook to d1 and replace one rook with another, Russian doll style, and we'll be in a good spot there. Yeah, the berserker shuffles over. Unfortunately, it can't actually make its way out of the box. I love that I can leave the arrows here, unlike chess.com, so you can quite visually see, oh, I clicked it away by accident, but you can quite visually see how they're stuck inside that box while I continue to advance my pawn. The only way to break free is to, A, move the berserker somewhere where the king can take back, at which point I'd sacrifice, and it's a lone king versus my entire army, or send the berserker after the rook. I said that I was going to replace one rook with another. I mean, I really could just promote my pawn, but for the sake of demonstrating the power of the box, I mean, this whole video is supposed to be the power of the regular chess setup while maintenance is happening on the game, but it's now turning into the power of, I guess we'll call it the box. The box is confusing though, because there's the concept of the square with pawns promotions and whatnot. Okay, but you can see the berserker is still inside the box. Inside, we'll call it the shoebox. That way there's no confusion. Okay, the berserker tries to advance. Hey, wait a minute, I see you trying to escape the box. Skedaddle. And funny enough, the king is still trapped because of that rook on d1. So we're pretty much just promoting to a queen b here in a second and getting mate, so the opponent does forfeit, resigns the game, and weirdly enough, I thought this episode was going to take almost an hour to record, but we do actually end up winning 2 out of the 3 games. Obviously the one that we lost, we got paired against somebody that actually knows what's going on, and we got smacked around pretty easy peasy, but the other 2 games were really amusing, and you can see how some sort of chess concepts can tickle their way in, at least, like I said, for the time being, while the bomb angel and the other piece are getting put back in place. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. This was a rare opportunity, so when I did see the message on Discord, I said I kind of have to take the chance to actually play it. I never wanted to play the chess setup, even though it makes perfect sense being the sort of quote-unquote chess player coming into Chess Ultimate. It makes perfect sense that I should be the one to come in and play with a chess setup, but realistically against a lot of those much stronger pieces, it was going to be a long video with a lot of losses, but again, a little golden opportunity arose and I tried to pounce as quick as I could. So this video is going to be relatively short, actually. Means I have more time to film for the gaming channel now. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if there are any other setups that you would like me to try. If they're really, really good or amusing or thematic setups, then I may make entire videos out of them. If they're more so niche or maybe wacky or something of that nature, then I'll put them in a video where I try multiple setups. Thank you again for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.